Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, watching this video. My name is Janet Soriano, and you are watching our Wednesday trainings in Profitable Moms in Business Facebook group. If you're not in here, yes, just yet, come and join us on Facebook. We go live every week at 1:30 p.m. Sorry that today I had to record this video because I don't know, for some reason it wasn't loading the page to go live. So it was giving me some technical difficulties. But we're here, we're gonna record this video on today's lesson. And I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments that you have watched the video and you have stopped by to listen to this lesson. It's going to be quick, but it's something that is very important when creating your website, when creating your business, right? So how do we create an ideal client pathway to make our visitors do what you want them to do, right? So this is our topic for today, and why you do need to implement the strategy on your website if you want more visitors to book your calls with you, if you want more visitors to actually be attracted to working with you. So the first thing is that we're going to go over first why you need to implement the strategy, right? So the whole reason of a strategy is to actually be intentional about what you're doing, right? So if you go to any like high-end website that it's already built and you're going to buy a product, maybe for example Apple, right? You go, you browse the product, and they give you calls to actions to go from one page to the other, right? And then you go to the checkout page. After you pay, you maybe go to a thank you page, right? So the whole point of this is that they're being very intentional about what happens first, second, and third in the customer journey, right? So when you're buying something from someone's website, that is very intentional on, the calls to actions are, specific to what they need you to do to be able to buy. And the wording that they're using, it's not vague, it's not confusing, right? So one of the things that I always tell my clients is when creating a strategy for your website is that you need to be intentional with what you're doing. You need to understand that not everybody is gonna just like want to figure it out. Like, we are human beings. We like to be guided to do one step first, second, third, right? So you want to think when you're creating your website, when you're creating your strategy for your website. By the way, I am a web designer and business coach. And I have been working with clients in designing websites for clients for the past 6 to 7 years. And this is one of the very first things that I teach when you start working with me, right? We go into like the strategy session of how is the customer going to feel first, right? We got to understand how do you want your ideal clients to feel when they land on your website? And then second, you want to understand like, what is the customer journey? What do they need to do first, second, and third in order to, get them from point A to point B, right? So in order for them to buy your specific service, right? So for example, on my website, in order for you to start working with me, you first have to like go and book a discovery call, book a time that you want to that's convenient for you. After that, you have to fill out the form, and from there you'll go to a thank you page that tells you the next steps, right? So I laid that foundation very clear on my website to bring clarity to what happens before, during, and after, right? And then once we get on a call, then from there we take other steps, right? And even on a call, I always tell my clients what to do next, right? What's the next step? You really want to always guide your clients on what to do next. What's the next step for them to start working with you? First, it lets you, it's a perception that you are organized within your business, right? and you are a professional and you know what's going to happen next, right? You're not like just wondering, oh, I don't know if she's going to, what's going to happen. I don't know what are the next steps, right? You don't want to leave your ideal customer or potential customer, confused. When someone is confused, they don't know what's going to happen next, right? So they actually don't interact with you. They don't, even if they're interested in the product or service, but they're confused as how they're going to get that product or service. They might just say, click on the exit window and just leave your website without even having to, a conversation with you or a relationship with you. So this is what we want to be intentional about. And we want to understand that creating an ideal client pathway leads your visitors throughout your website. So it's like taking a trip, or once your visitor lands on your homepage, you're able to guide them with the right calls to actions to get them to the final destination. So that destination could be buying your services, your products, booking a call with you, subscribing to your newsletter, right? But even though not every visitor is gonna take that ideal pathway, the main idea is to be intentional and tell your visitors what you want them to do when they land on your website. What's the second step that they need to take, and what's the third step? At least laying out those 3 foundational first steps is something that I am very critical when I'm designing my websites for my clients, right? So your homework for today, actually, is going to be very quick. It's something very simple, but when you don't take it into consideration and you just leave it for your ideal customers to figure out what they have to do next on your website, or even on any aspect of your business, whether it's on a sales call or on a post, or a marketing strategy that you're using, you always want to lay the intentional first 3 steps that they need to take in order to get started, take that action that they need to take, right? We always want to, even after we give value within a post, anything that you're doing, a podcast, anything that you're doing to attract more clients in your door, you always want to be intentional to what's the call to action that I need them to take. What's the next step that I need them to take in order for them to take action to working with me, right? And this is something very simple that you can do right now. You can take out a blank piece of paper and you can draw a map connecting each page to another, through links, buttons, custom URLs. So imagine that somebody lands on your website and there's no top menu. So this is what I call the no menu concept bar. And for example, there's no menu, so people do have to, in order to navigate your website, they have to go through calls to actions that are laid out in your page, right? So if they land on our homepage, what is the next step that you want them to take, right? And this all depends on the goal you want to achieve, right? If the goal is actually booking a discovery call, you don't want to tell them, go to my about page, right? If the goal is to actually have them know more about you before they actually book a call with you, then yes, you send them to your about page. So the fact is that you're being intentional with what the step is, instead of just leaving it to the customer to what they want. Of course, there's always going to be a menu in your website, right? And they can be able to hop into, exactly what they want, exactly what they need. But laying that foundation also helps them be guided to what you want them to do, right? And that ideal client pathway is very, very critical when designing a website that actually is going to be profitable for you in the long term, okay? So with that said, my call to action for you is to sign up for the Profitable Website Program, which is coming very, very soon. I still don't have a launch date because I'm in the middle of creating all this content for you guys, and it's going to be very, very amazing. It's going to be a 90-day program to help you create a profitable website for your business. So if you are interested in knowing more about the Profitable Website Program, please sign up for the waitlist. It's janetsoriano.com/waitlist. I'm going to put it in the comments of this video. If you have any questions around creating an ideal client, if you started like maybe mapping out what that ideal client pathway is, and you still have questions around it, let me know in the comments and I'll be hanging out in there. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. You are amazing. Oh, I forgot something. Tell me what the weather is like where you're at today as you're watching this video. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bye.